Hello, friends, and welcome back to MB2 Underground. Our guest today might be from Denver, Colorado, but we promise this episode is significantly less disappointing than the most recent season of Love is Blind. I'm Sarah Reed.
And I'm JT, Jonathan Tyrock. Love is Blind, I don't know that I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's way too long to discuss here, but the most recent season took place in Denver, and it was...
It is. Yeah. What happens in Love is Blind?
They get engaged without ever seeing each other. Oh. And then they see each other, and then they get to the altar and decide if they're going to get married or not.
Huh. Maybe we take that one offline. I'll have to...
Like I said, too much for the pod.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about our guest today because he's great. Not only is he cultured, so he's big into cooking and the outdoors in general. Like you said, he's from Denver, but he's also an entrepreneur at heart. His story is one I think most people can relate to. He didn't know what he wanted to be when he grew up. Got to college, senior year of college, woke up one day and had a vision that we need to ask him about. And he's been running after that vision for over the last, 20 years.
I love a guest who plans their life on vibes.
It's what it sounds like. He's built and sold 2 businesses and even came out of retirement to help a new service line at Young Innovations.
Dedication.
That's right. Young Innovations is a dental supply and equipment company where our guest has been a program manager of VitalAlert for the last 6 years. So welcome, Lee Majerus.
Hey, Lee.
Hey, thank you so much.
So Lee, tell us about your senior year of college that I alluded to in the intro, where you just woke up one day and it hit you, or what?
It's not really that hit me. I think I was on the 4.5-year plan in college, right? So it was kind of like that last semester, that fall semester, where it didn't make sense to live on campus, so I was commuting.
Okay.
So from my home to Fort Collins was about a 40-minute drive. So as I was driving up the highway, the sun was coming up, and you got to think back in, the late 18 or 19.
Whoa! You just dated yourself, man.
The late 80s.
We've got a ghost.
Yeah, you guys. So a couple of key things happened in the world, right? The Berlin Wall came down.
Okay.
Right. So that was kind of life-changing. People were talking about it. And cholesterol testing was becoming like a very hot topic. People were talking about it. New tests were being involved. New drugs were being released. And it was kind of a hot topic. And so I think I was listening, to the world, as an impressionable 21-year-old senior in college, didn't know what I wanted to do. And these things were just rolling around in my mind that, hey, medical sales is a job that people will need forever.
Yeah.
Cholesterol, that seems like, that's everybody's talking about cholesterol. The Berlin Wall's coming down. Anything's possible, right? Right. And so it all just kind of hit me, and I'm like, I'm going to have a medical supply company called Sunrise Medical one day.
So not only did you come up with your career path, you named it.
I did.
I love it.
Never happened, but yeah.
But that's what you were studying at school, so it was a natural step. Is that right?
My college career is a little different than kids today. I think today kids are pretty much pre-programmed that this is what you're going to do, and you're going to start at an early age.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, they let you kind of figure out, your path. So I started out as a computer science major and pretty quickly realized that wasn't the job for me going forward. And then ended up with construction management, which ended up not being the job for me. And so, you think a college kid, I keep changing my majors. I'm
dabbling.
Like, I got to get out of here sooner or later, right? And so hence the 4.5-year plan. So my advisor said, hey, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I have this business idea. And they said, well, get a recreation degree because it's a business minor and you can take all those credits and you can get out of here with a pretty good solid foundation in business. I'm like,
oh, that's smart. You make it your minor so you're taking the courses, but it doesn't delay your graduation.
One semester, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's really, so looking back on it, it's not the traditional path, but worked perfect for me.
What does one typically do with a degree in recreation? I know it's not what you did, but what is it?
What do I do now with it? I plan really good vacations.
But what's that job? If I'm a director of recreation.
Yeah. What you could work for a city. You could work for a resort. You plan activities. You do a lot of really fun things with kids for a lot of times, right? You're doing, kind of like your new center you guys built, across the way where you're, team building events and bringing people together in a different setting to learn and grow together. So,
okay, makes sense.
yeah, so you can do that for a lot of different places.
I mean, I know you're a business-focused guy, right? I mentioned that you helped or you founded and built 2 businesses, but growing up in Denver, I always imagine and picture folks that like to be outdoors. And I know you mentioned, in the notes that you're big into fishing and skiing, and like, were some of those classes fun? Like, do you get classes that are focused on those in college?
You take classes like geology, the study of rocks.
Yeah.
You take environmental policy, 1964 through 1972. Really fun stuff.
Okay.
But my senior project, we did a single track mountain bike trail through the Poudre Canyon.
So we went through Canyon.
So it's a real thing.
I'm so sorry. So you're going through Poudre Canyon.
So Poudre Canyon's a real thing outside of Fort Collins, Colorado. And so my team and I, we did all the research and applied for all the grants and the permits, and we proposed a single track bicycle trail through the Poudre Canyon. That's super cool.
Stop saying Poudre Canyon. I'm so sorry.
Tell me why that's funny.
Did you ever watch
South Park?
No. Was it House Bunny? Her pet's name is Pooter.
Oh, no.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so back to
the podcast.
Back to reality.
Yeah.
All right, so you go from I'm going to start a business in a medical supply company, but that's not when you came out of school. You didn't start the business right away. What did you do right out of school?
I think like anybody get out of school, you got to get a job, right?
Yep.
And I have this recreation degree, and I got hired by Sawgrass Golf and Country Club in Jacksonville, Florida at the TPC. Pretty good gig, right? So,
did you want to end up in Florida? Because at this point, you've been in Colorado your whole life.
They offered the highest paying job.
Fair.
Right? So at that age,
I'll go anywhere.
Yeah, with a little bit of debt. And why wouldn't I want to go to the TPC? Like, that's one of the most beautiful golf courses around, right?
That's what I hear, yeah.
And so I was a recreation director there, planning activities for kids and playing golf and hanging out. And
making use of that degree.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And I ran into people that sold medical supplies for a career, right?
Okay.
So Jacksonville, Florida was the home base of a company called PSS, Physician Sales and Service, that really became the foundation of my career. And so through this, this recreation job, I met people that they managed and sold medical supplies for a living.
Making business deals on the golf course.
Yeah. And it's like, you know what? This is kind of too good to be true.
So was it just like a sales rep that you met at PSS, when you were at TPC, or was it like leadership or?
A little of both. I befriended a couple of the sales reps, and at that time, to supplement my income, I was also teaching swimming lessons. So I ended up teaching the granddaughter swimming lesson of one of the executives of the company. So a little bit in there, right? So
talk about networking.
Yeah. So he's like, dude, you're great at teaching swimming lessons. You want some medical supplies? I'm like, yeah.
A plus B equals C.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
PSS it's based in California, or it was based in California, right?
No, Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a tremendous story. Pat Kelly was a orphan growing up and ended up working for McKesson and had a crazy idea and started his own medical supply business out of his garage. And he grew it from one location to 100 locations in a $2 billion corporation.
Wow.
So I was sales rep number 48, and we were about $60,000 a year in revenue. When I left, we were $2 billion. Wow. A publicly traded $2 billion company. So
that's insane. How long were you there?
14 years, yeah.
How did you end up bridging into dental?
Good question.
Thank you.
If I had $1 for every time somebody sitting across the table from me said "good question" to Sarah, I'd be rich.
You'd
and
be
if
rich.
she had $1 for every time that I got that compliment, she'd be poor.
Yeah.
I am. It's okay.
So interesting enough that, you talk about a business idea. What starts out as the idea isn't what it becomes. So through our experience in selling medical supplies for physician sales and service, we noticed there was a hole in the market on sedation, IV sedation meds.
Interesting.
So specifically controlled substances, drugs like fentanyl, drugs like midazolam, propofol, kind of controlled substances.
Yeah.
So we saw that nobody was really doing that. And we're like, wow,
What was around what year are we talking about?
This was 2004.
Okay, gotcha.
2004. So I'm living here in Dallas, looking for, a way to kind of transition out of the corporate world into my own business.
Did PSS take you to Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Give you my quick story real fast.
Yeah, hit me.
Born and raised Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to Jacksonville, Florida for the TPC. Moved to Los Angeles. Was in Los Angeles as a sales rep. I said, hey, you'd be good at
with PSS?
With PSS.
Okay, that's where well,
you'd be good at management. Let's go to Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska, Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina, Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so not just Texas.
Yeah.
Got it. Which was your favorite place to live?
Good question.
Thank you.
I was going to ask that one.
I've embraced, I think, each one of these places, and it's really about if you see what's good in that area, you'll find it, right? So Lincoln, Nebraska, fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Very small town, quiet, quality of life, good, wholesome people, low crime. Los Angeles, fun, right? A lot of things to do. The Carolinas, outdoorsy, right? Hike, bike, the things I like to do. Great people in the Carolinas.
Dallas, Texas.
You can't beat Texas, right? I got here as fast as I could. So I've been here 20 years and wonderful business climate, wonderful people to work with. People like yourselves, right? We support each other. We work together. We want to be successful. Our customers wanted to support a local company. So yeah, being in Texas couldn't have been a better place to start a business.
I like that perspective. I traveled with MB2 for about 7 years and I went to some pretty obscure places. And I remember telling people there's something so cool about everywhere. There's only 2 places I traveled that I did not like out of 7 years, but the rest, it was there's always something fun about the community that you're diving into. And
with a positive attitude, right? And you just say, hey, I'm not going to worry about the problems. I'm going to find what's good in this community, embrace it.
Love it.
And you'll find it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you're in Dallas.
So I'm in Dallas trying to figure out how to make a living. I'm married. I have 2 young kids. And my wife is super supportive. She said, I believe in you. Do it. So we said, we're going to open a business that sells controlled substances.
Bold move.
Sweet. You're a drug dealer now.
Yes.
I'm going to make a living selling fentanyl.
Yeah. From recreation to drug dealing.
How do you think that went?
Well, with the guys on the street corner, probably not pumped about you doing it legitimately, but
yeah, there's some advantages to being clueless.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you don't talk yourself out of it because you don't know any better, right?
That's right.
And so you can't have a business selling fentanyl.
Good to know.
It doesn't work. So
I'll mark that off my job ambition list.
It's a drug that an oral surgeon needs, right? So it's part of the IV sedation process that, is required. So you can't just sell fentanyl. You have to have a business that's really built around the whole offering of sedation medicine.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which was a lot bigger than I was thinking at the time.
Okay.
So is it, I want to stop for a second because this is my own curiosity, and I'm sure some of the listeners, probably Sarah's dad,
Jeff.
Is he an oral surgeon?
No, he just listens to every
but probably has the same question. So you can't just sell fentanyl, and I think you're getting there, which is, do you have to sell the entire compound, or how does...
You have to sell complementary products.
Okay.
You can't just sell controlled substances.
Okay. So you're just talking about, I had this vision to sell this one singular thing, and they're like,
well, actually, one type of thing. There's different controlled substances.
So the name of the company was called Controlled Healthcare.
Okay.
And we based it on selling controlled substances because there's this big hole in the market, right? Well, because it's really hard and you can't really do it.
Right.
So probably some of your locations that buy controlled substances, if they're going to do IV sedation in their office, it's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of rules that go around it. There's a lot of laws. There's a lot of risk. And so it's just not easy to do. And so we kind of took the attitude, if it's easy, everybody do it.
Right.
So let's figure out how to do it and go for it. And so what became a controlled substance business really became a pharmaceutical distribution business. So it was really what type of specialty pharmaceuticals could we provide that people are having a hard time getting. And it ended up being things like, flu vaccine, ended up being hepatitis B vaccine, ended up being controlled substances like fentanyl. And we stumbled, you asked me how I got into dentistry. And the real answer is we stumbled and bumbled into oral surgeons.
Makes sense.
And they were fantastic. If you know any oral surgeons, they are super smart. They're right, great people to talk to. They rely on referrals, so they're really open and want to work with us. And so, stumbled in an oral surgery practice in Fort Worth, Texas, and they said, "Hey, can you do this, this, and this for me?" And of course, I said yes.
You're like, well, why not? Like,
Yeah.
I worked with a guy who he basically told me this was a small consulting company, not too dissimilar from when you started with PSS. And he's like, look, if somebody on the other side of the phone asks you to do something, you say yes, hang up, and we'll figure it out. It's like, okay.
That's exactly what we did. And so that's how, controlled healthcare got into oral surgery. And from there, that's how we started selling donated human tissue. One of our best customers, Dr. Down in Houston, said, hey, Lee, I'm sedating these patients. I really need a supplier for donated human tissue so that when I'm getting ready to do my implant, we have a provider to regrow the bone. And so I'm like, yeah, I can do that for you.
So your approach to entrepreneurship early on was very much supply and demand. What is the demand? And I'll figure out the supply.
Yeah. And I think from my previous experience with PSS, it was listen and take care of the customer.
Yeah.
Right. And if you do that, they pretty much build your business for you.
I know as JT alluded to in the intro, you've sold multiple businesses, but going back a little bit, we talked about your Sunrise Medical, whatever. You had this entrepreneurial spirit even in college, but where do you think that originated from?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
See, I'm telling you, I'm rich.
Yeah. I think growing up with a single mother, right, where money was hard to come by. She was hardworking, had multiple jobs, raised my sister and I, put us both through college, working at the mall and working at fast food. I think it really came down to is I wanted to control my destiny, right? I wanted somebody to teach me values, right? Teach me the core principles of running a business. But at the end of the day, it was really more about I wanted to control my destiny. I wanted like commission. Commission is not for some people. I love commission.
Oh, it's definitely not for me.
Right. So it's hard. It's not for everybody. But for me, that's the only way I would work.
Yep. My husband's the same way.
Right. Because that's basically you control your destiny. If you're doing well, you're making good money, and people generally don't fire you if you're doing well. And so really, I think it was like seeing my mom struggle, seeing how she had to work for other people, and just in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to control my destiny. So I think that's where it came from.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So with controlled healthcare, I mentioned that you started and sold a couple of businesses. To walk through that process. Is that one of the business?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It's one of the businesses.
Yeah. So controlled healthcare started in 2004 and we sold it in 2010. So it had about a 6-year run.
Nice.
Perfect timing in terms of our number one drug was called propofol. So Diprovan is the brand name product. So Diprovan went generic about that time. So there was an access to that product, and it's probably the number one drug an oral surgeon would use to sedate their patients. So the business rapidly grew, and our former employer, PSS, noticed it and said, hey, what they're doing is what we would like to do. And, funny story is we told them we would do it for them if they would let us. And they said, no. And so we said, we're going to do it ourselves. And so 6 years later, they saw that we had done it. And then they came to us and said, we want to buy your business.
I love that.
And we basically said, no. It's not for sale. I mean, why would I sell it for you?
Oh my gosh, it's like the girl who got dumped and you're like, I'm going to go have a glow up. And then they come back, they're like, I want you. You're like, no, I'm too hot for you now. Yeah. I love that.
And so I had 2 other business partners, and don't think I did this by myself, right? So, one of our philosophies was the 3 of us made one good owner. So,
that's the key.
And I think, if you find out what you're not good at, don't be afraid to admit it and find somebody that can do that good, right? And so that's the 3 of us, right? We had some strengths and some weaknesses, and we kind of, worked really well together. And so when they came back and offered more money, like you're even prettier now, we're like, no, right? And about that time, one of our doctors asked us for bone grafting. We're like, we're going to do even more. Why would we do this? So they came back a 3rd time and kind of gave us we took some big risks, mortgaged our homes and had some debt. And, this is that financial security that my kids' college would be paid for, my debts would be paid off, had a little bit of security. And so my 2 business partners and I, we basically said, let's carve out bone grafting. Let's sell them everything except bone grafting. And they said, no. We said, oh, fine. So they came back and said, yeah, we'll do it. So really, it was like we just held out.
What a wild ride.
Yeah, we just held out until we got what we wanted. And
I love
it was probably August 2010 we sold Controlled Healthcare. August 2010 we opened Puregraph the very same day.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
And we kept our same customers. We kept. They ended up, taking our name. They took our phone number. They took, our employees, and they pretty much got rid of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And as you sit back as a business owner, and you're kind of proud that you built this company. That these people have house payments now, and we're supporting them, and we just fired them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my other two business partners and I were kind of like, this isn't what we want to do. So we basically hired them all back.
That's
Under
awesome.
because the grafting part was carved out from the PSS transaction.
Yeah, and that became Puregraph.
Oh my gosh.
And so we hired back those employees and basically said, you guys run the business.
What a cool story. That when we are partnering with dentists, their greatest concern, almost 100%, their greatest concern is their staff.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that we're happy to take care of the staff. It's like, no. Our greatest concern in partnership is your staff as well, or our staff, or our collective partnership staff. So that's such a cool story. Sarah, I was kind of thinking that we should maybe carve out owner transitions and BD, and then just, start with the underground. Like, we'll carve the rest of it out to MB2 and let them keep that. We'll just do underground, right?
I'm not an entrepreneur. I apologize.
You said that with
It's
no
not for
commission.
me.
I need a little more guarantees in life.
That's just so, that's awesome, because it's already ready built, right? And it's there, and you're like, all right, well, cool. I'll turn the lights off over here and turn them back on over here.
Yeah.
And here we go.
And we were able to keep our computer system, our database. We were able to keep our relationships with our customers. And it was just a very easy transition. And I think we felt good, right? You felt good that, hey, I'm still providing for these people.
Yeah.
And we had a 5-year non-compete. So for 5 years, we couldn't do anything we've done in the past. But those customers kept asking us every day. So we knew it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And so one of my business partners, so back to selling fentanyl, it's very hard, very scary. And you have to put your name on all these licenses. And if you mess up selling fentanyl, you know what the punishment is?
Yeah, prison, probably.
Prison, jail. You go to jail. Yeah. And
Jail.
so me, I'm the sales guy. I'm like, my name's not on it. It's easy. Let's just sell more of it. And you can't do that, right? So he was really hesitant on saying, hey, let's pump the brakes on these drugs again. I'm not really excited about that. But there's 3 of us, so we won 2-1.
There you go.
So in 2015, we basically took Controlled Healthcare's pharmaceutical distribution idea, and we took Puregraph's bone grafting business, and we put them back together and became that business that was hopefully the go-to business for dentists, neurosurgeons in their offices that were sedating their patients and doing bone grafting procedures and getting ready for dental implants.
That's awesome.
And is that the business that ended up joining Young Innovations in 2019?
Yep. So,
okay.
So the same partner that didn't want to go to jail.
Right.
Boring. Just go to jail.
Look, everybody could take a risk, right?
So his name's on all these licenses again.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's like, let's sell this thing. He's in. You talk about people that just have perfect timing. He said, I got this gut feeling. And the laws were changing, and, it was getting harder and harder to be a drug distribution business. And so we put the business up for sale, right? We called a broker, and we said, we want to sell this business. And
what was it about Young Innovations that you're like, this is
not a thing?
Oh,
the broker just brought them to the table.
Interesting way this process works is when you hire a broker, they basically put lipstick on you in a nice fancy dress and parade you around and see who likes you. And so we ended up having about 50 companies that were interested in buying us. And so we narrowed it down to the top 10 bidders.
okay.
Young was the 11th bidder.
They didn't even make the top cut.
We cut them.
Okay.
Highest bidder was the same people we sold the previous company to.
Amazing,
right?
Yeah.
Same exact people sitting across the table.
So the story that you've told is you build this business, you sell it, you carve out one piece, you basically rebuild the business with that one piece. And the same people that bought it the first time were like, oh, we lost all this business, so now we need to go buy it again from you.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And if we're sitting at the table, they're like, what do we have to do that we're never here again?
You're like, there's not enough money in the world.
And,
This moment is the best.
and when we get to Vital Alert, I'll tell you another story.
Okay. So Young is number 11 on the list.
Yep, cut him from, didn't have enough money, didn't know anything about him. You guys didn't know anything about him, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about I'm just shocked that they're massive companies like that, because Young is by all measurements, like it's huge.
Yeah.
And there have to be tons of companies like that in the U.S. that I have no idea about that are doing great business that are massive. So
and thank you to MB2, right? You guys buy a lot of products from Young.
Yeah.
Right?
You're welcome.
Through the entire portfolio. No doubt.
And so they got cut from the herd, like it didn't make sense. And the CEO flew into town and says, what does it take to be in your top 3? And we told him, he said, all right, I'm in your top 3. And so the top 3, we got invited in for presentations. One was our previous person we sold the business to, right?
I love how you're like, we're going to take this all the way to the bitter end. We're really going to make you work for it and then turn you down.
Yeah. The second one was a private equity bank out of Pittsburgh.
Interesting.
Didn't know anything about what we were doing.
What was the name of it?
PNC.
PNC. Oh yeah, PNC. Yeah.
So PNC made the cut, and Young Innovations. And so we did the management presentation, and we cut Young again. Like, I'm not sure you guys understand exactly what it is we do, right?
If the bank is doing better, then we're really in trouble.
We sell drugs, right? You guys make toothbrushes, right? And so they're like, no, we really want to buy you guys. And when people, from previous, when people tell you that, that's a good sign. Yeah. And so what's it going to take to be number 1? And we told them. And we cut them again.
That's too good.
So we ended up cutting them again. And kind of had second thoughts. Like we said, hey, we're going to sell to the same people we sold the last business to. And the writing was on the wall. And we're like, you know what? We're doing it again.
Yeah.
They're going to fire our employees.
Yeah.
They're going to change our name. And it's like we've never existed.
We've read this book before.
Right. And it's like, I don't want to sell a business and feel awful about it.
Yeah.
Right. So we ended up canceling, and we went back to Young and said, guess what? If you're still interested,
you can have us.
You can have us.
So tenacity and value alignment, maybe.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And so that was November of 2019.
That's awesome.
You know what happened right after that?
I think there was a little thing called COVID.
We sold our business 60 days before COVID hit.
Jeez.
Can you get any luckier than that?
I mean, in a distribution, no.
Right. Can you get any luckier? 2 things happened, right? One, you couldn't travel. The people that just bought our business could not come here. They could not, right? So they let us continue to operate like we have in the past. They say do no harm.
Yeah.
Right. Number one thing of an acquisition is do no harm, that they're not going to change your business. And they're going to try as hard as they can, but it's hard not to do. It's hard not to change it. And so we were dealing with a company that had a lot of money, had really good intentions, and ended up just letting us do what we wanted to do. And so we said, hey, if you give us the money and the time in the room, we'll double this business for you. I'll double the reps. I'll double the revenue. And we did. In 2 years, we doubled the business for them.
During COVID.
Right out. I mean, so you got to think. Oral surgeons didn't close their office, right?
Yeah,
because they're doing other things than just pulling out wisdom teeth, right? If you have an oral cancer or you're in a
emergent care,
so they didn't close. So we continue to be creative and find ways to service them and listen to their needs, and just rode COVID out with the oral maxillofacial surgeons and just continued to grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that as we are exploring partnerships, our doctors are worried that things are going to change. And it's funny to hear that Young basically, unintentionally stumbled into, okay, we're going to let you guys keep doing what you're doing. Like, we're buying this business that you have successfully run, and because of COVID, we're going to have to allow you to keep doing it. Yeah. And you guys are like, dude, but we got this. Like, just let us go. And here, like, that's.
And there was a really nice financial incentive too. It's like we all won, right?
Yeah.
Young got a great company. which is now the foundation of Young Surgical, which is their specialty surgical business. We ended up working with a really good company. Our employees now have better benefits, make
Amazing.
more money,
That's
have
awesome.
better job security, have more career advancement, right? So I think when we look back and said selling to Young was awesome. It was the best thing we could do for ourselves, for our customers, for our people. So it was, wasn't planned, but it was really hoped. We really hoped that that's what would happen.
It's absolutely a win-win. I never like using that in transaction sense because I think like oftentimes everybody's giving you've got to give something to get there. But I mean, you want to talk about the epitome of win-win. It sounds like that's exactly what you guys found.
And back to, if you go into it like you go into a new place and you embrace the positives, there's a lot of good things, right? There's also scary things, right? There's a lot of bad things that if you focus on
What you look for, you will find.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we just told our employees, this is a good company. They're going to take care of you. Don't be afraid. Do your job. Listen to your customers. Take care of your customers. And it worked out for them.
Stick to the values. And where does Vital Alert come into all of this?
So after 2 years, I'd fulfilled my commitment to Young, and I like to say I got fired. They like to say my position was eliminated. I think it's more fun to say I got fired.
Yeah, makes the story dramatic. I love it.
So I left the company, and my wife and I, we said, hey, we've always wanted to travel, so we jumped on an airplane. We went to Spain.
Love it. Where you started cooking.
Absolutely. I took classes there to learn how to cook. And while I was there, I was gone 6 weeks. And so while I was there, they were like, would you come back? And I'm like, I don't think so. And they're like, find something you like to do. And I'm like, well, my history is I kind of like to build businesses. I kind of like to put pieces of puzzles together that, take care of customers' needs. And I'm like, that's kind of what I like to do. And they're like, look at our portfolio and find it.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Again, Young being a great place to work and a great place.
You being the hottest chick on the block that has all these people coming for you.
Right? Yeah. And so I said, we just bought a company in Scottsdale, Arizona called Medical Purchasing Solutions. And Medical Purchasing Solutions was started by a pharmacist. And for 25 years, they did emergency meds and dental offices, right? They did specialty pharmaceuticals. And they had this one little medical emergency kit called the Vital Alert kit. And I'm like, I want that. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
And in that, at that time.
So not just one brand, but one product from a brand from a larger organization.
Yeah.
But now it's its own thing, right?
Yeah. And
Like, what was it? Why were you like this? I want this one.
remember that company that I sold my company to?
No, which one? Remind us.
I won't say their name.
Okay.
But you guys do business with them. They're a great company. I think everybody in dental does business with them. They do a good job. They've grown a huge business. They control most of the market. They were the only option. Little old me says, you know what? Maybe the world needs a second option. So I just like the idea.
The competitive spirit.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like the idea of providing a second option, right? And the saying is like, Home Depot needs Lowe's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Walmart needs Target.
You end up in a monopoly if there's no
Right.
other alternatives.
And so I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? There are no other alternatives. There's got to be people out there that would like to do business differently. And so, I just jumped in and said, hey, this is what I want to do. And took a little bit different business model than what they were doing and kind of listened to a couple of DSOs, like yourself and some other ones. I said, what would make this easier for you? What would make your life not as hectic? What would make it simpler? And just
back to that core philosophy that you created at your first business.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, it's such a simple roadmap. It's just listen and then build the business off the need. Like, how hard is it, guys?
Learn from your buyers. Don't think you're smarter than them.
Well, I'm not that smart, right? I can't think of any of this stuff, right? I mean, but
Other than Sunrise Medical.
which never happened, right?
Hey, it's not too late.
It's not.
Don't give up on your dreams.
I have a 5-year non-compete now, so Young's tied me up. So I mean, like 5 years from now, I might start Young or start Sunrise
Maybe that's
Medical.
what we do is we just jack his idea and go start around.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you could. I mean, so that's really what it was. It's just
Could you help us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Angel investor.
Yes, it's finding that need in the market, finding a customer that has some issues that need to be solved, and then taking care of them. Right,
Yeah.
doing a good job, and And that's the core values from working at PSS was like, take care of your people, take care of your customers, empower your people to make decisions, right? So if you make your decision with your customer in mind, it's probably the right decision. Long term, you might have to pivot a little bit if it doesn't quite, solve the problem or make the money run. But generally, if you tell your employees, do the right thing, take care of your customers, make sure right at the end of the day, and our customers really are people taking care of patients.
Yeah.
Right. So think about that patient, right? Don't think about yourself. Don't think about, hey, I'm going to be late for this. Think about that patient sitting in that chair is depending on us, right? So that's kind of the thing is like, if you think about the end in mind and you make your decision based on that, no one's going to fault it.
Does that go back to the hiring future CEOs mentality?
Absolutely.
Where'd you learn that?
That's from PSS, from Pat Kelly. And it's like every person in that organization was, responsible for making a decision, right? Because whoever's in front of the customer is the CEO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Don't call now they call them Karens, right? I want to talk to your manager. Right? There's no need. There's no need to talk to the manager. You're talking to the CEO.
Yeah.
I'm delivering I'm driving the truck.
Yeah.
Right? But when I'm standing in front of you, what's the problem? Price, service, product, whatever. We'll solve it right now. And so he instilled that in all the employees and treated you that way and expected you to act that way. And it just became the foundation.
So correct me if I'm wrong, you started your entrepreneurship journey in 2004. Is that when that started?
Mm-hmm.
You have sold multiple companies. Mm-hmm. You've had all these businesses chasing you down, right? What would you say was the best mistake that you made over your career as an entrepreneur? Like the mistake that you made that taught you a very valuable lesson that helped you get to the next step?
Fentanyl.
Listen, you learned that pretty early on.
I was not expecting that as the answer. That was great.
Fentanyl is not a good way to build a business. So in the business sense, right, that if for some reason, there's a storm and you can't get the product to the customer, you have to find a way, right? Don't accept that. You got to look at different avenues, be creative, leverage your partnerships, leverage your friendships, right? And that's how the business was really, because you think about 15 years working my way through a business that's $2 billion. I met a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people. I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of people, right, that got you to where you need to be. So you pick up the phone and you can call in a favor, right? And if that favor helps, that doctor treat that patient, they remember it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's really that. Just lean on, those relationships, take care of the people. And
so maybe it's as an entrepreneur or in entrepreneurship, it's
beautiful pronunciation.
You burn the boats, but you don't burn bridges.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Here's the one for you too. So they say you're an entrepreneur. I'm like, well, I used to be. Now I'm an intrapreneur. Have you heard that term?
No.
I'm building a business within a business that I don't own.
Did you make that up?
No, it's somebody.
I was like, wow, that's so smart.
No, somebody much smarter than me told me, you're an entrepreneur now. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't pay as well, but yeah, I guess it's fun.
What are you excited about in the future?
I think, personally, my kids are getting older. So I have 2 kids that have graduated college and starting their life. So it's awesome to see them grow and learn and, see a little bit of me in them every once in a while. I think that's awesome. I'd still love to cook and play golf, listening to customers, right? So kind of something fun we're doing right now that's a little bit different than this is the laws have changed in the pharmaceutical distribution world, where a pack of drugs you used to be able to sell individually. You can no longer do that, right? Now you can only sell drugs that are individually serialized and tracked and traced throughout the distribution channel. And for a patient, that's a good thing, right? You want to know every step of the distribution channel this drug has been through. Right. In the past, it might have been in the back of your sales rep's car. Right. It might have been in and out of a warehouse. Right. But now it's barcoded and it's tracked with a 2D barcode through the complete distribution channel. Well, one of the things we do that's kind of unique, there's only one other company that does this. You know who they are.
Yeah.
You know who they are.
Yeah.
We take bulk pharmaceuticals and we break them down into single serialized drugs that now can be sold as an each. So I'm excited about that. I kind of think that might be my next kind of pivot where I end up.
Yeah.
But it's exciting because, different industries, right? So veterinarian is kind of where we're headed right now, is that human drugs that are used on animals have they're the same drugs we sell, but you can't sell in each. They have to be repackaged and sold, right? So we're finding that there's a really big need in the veterinarian class for individual drugs to be repackaged and sold. So that's kind of where I'm headed, right? So it's
so interesting.
It's new. It's fun. It's exciting. So it's
I've got one last question, at least for me, and. By all accounts, you've been incredibly successful throughout your career, building businesses, selling businesses. You sitting across the table, you are still very, very excited about what you do, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, somebody who's basically retired once already. Like, do you think will you ever retire, or do you think you'll always be tinkering?
Yeah, because you did just say, "Oh, hang out with my kids and cooking," but also I'm on this whole new venture of
which I'm probably more excited about, right? Sorry, kids. I love it. Just love it, right? Yeah. It's, you can only play so much golf. I'm lucky enough that I can play golf, I can go fishing, I can cook, but there's not a lot of things in the world that you say, hey, I can help a doctor treat a patient, right? Yeah. I can help a company be more successful. And it gets back to, and I'm going to tell you the same thing over and over, listening, right? Hearing what's out there and saying, hey, I think we can do that. I think we can find a solution to that. One day when I don't hear it anymore, maybe, but I mean, why would I? I mean, it's fun.
Well, and the shifting is new and fun and energizing, and you've done that throughout your whole career. And like, all right, what are we going to do next?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we joked about the fentanyl thing, but for our listeners, what is one thing from your story that you hope that our listeners can take away and implement into their own lives? If you could leave them with a piece of advice or a lesson.
Follow your dreams. That would be one. Have a positive attitude.
I like to see the good in the positives in every situation.
And
what you look for, you will find.
Yeah, it is so easy to be negative, right? And just go down that road of pointing out what's wrong. But there's just as many things that are right? And if you can find those things and embrace them, life is so much easier and fun. And we always joke around that I didn't do any of this to make money. It's been a kind of a byproduct, right? It's been, I've had a lot of support. I've had a lot of people that, have helped me get to where I am. But it was never for money, right?
This is my last question, but how do you continue to focus on the positives? Like, do you have, I don't know if our listeners know this, I'm very pregnant and I'm hot and this seat's not that, I have plenty to complain about, a lot to be happy about.
And a birth of a new child.
No, we're not, that's none of my business.
A new life coming into this world.
But how do you maintain that positive outlook when maybe things are harder? Do you have a gratitude journal or do you feel like it just kind of comes naturally?
Maybe my mom taught it. I have a saying, and my wife bought a coin. It says, "This too shall pass." It's only temporary, right? Don't get bogged down on it, right? Find a way out of it, and it will pass.
This will be the episode I re-listen to whenever I'm cranky.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
Lee, I'll tell you what, Sarah, when she's kind of, having a rougher day because of all the things that she said. The second the baby moves, it is like her face lights up and it is all the positives in the world are popping in.
All of a sudden I love it. And it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
We joked having a business like having a baby, right? You're thinking about it. You're planning about it. You're worried about its future. You're worried about
minus all the havoc it wreaks on your body coming out. But
well, business does the same thing, right?
Does it do the same thing?
Look at this gray hair. Look at this gray hair, right? Right?
So
maybe not the same thing, but
I'll leave that one.
That was our joke a lot of times. It's
I love it.
So when we sold our baby, it went off to college.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, it's a business.
Not legally, but you can't sell fentanyl legally either. So
you can figure out a way.
That's right. That's right.
Lee, is there anything we didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about?
I just want to thank MB2, right? So I'm here really because you guys have supported my product. A couple of your executives are enthusiastic about what we're doing and asked me if I'd come. And I was like, absolutely. I'd love to come and tell my story. And I want to thank you guys for supporting all my companies, and you don't know that you have. But MB2 has been a customer of every one of my businesses.
That's amazing.
Of Controlled Healthcare, of Pure Graft, which is now Young Innovations, Young Surgical, and now Vitalert. So you've been a customer of mine my whole career. So thank you.
That's amazing.
That doesn't surprise me in the least bit, simply because the values that you've kind of shown sitting again across the table, like it lines up with the things that we think about, we look for, and the things that, you know, Dr. V and the executive team have put on the support teams and our partners. And so it seems like a perfect match, which, hey, if you're standing there saying, guys, you tell me what you need and I'll go do it. Like, of course it's going to work.
Yeah.
But, well, Lee, thank you so much for joining us. MB2 Undergrounders, we are at the conclusion of the episode with Lee Majerus of Young Innovations and Vitalert. We'll talk to you guys next time.
See ya.